Hey ChatGPT, what's the percentage of divergence in the labor market since ChatGPT was introduced? Let's do an analysis of two countries, Australia and India.
So I couldn't find a direct percentage for Australia and India specifically, but in general, research suggests that around a third of occupations could see some impact from AI tools like this, with a bit over a third seeing partial changes. So it's definitely something that's starting to ripple through different job markets, but the exact numbers might vary by country.
Yep, why don't you do an analysis and tell me that?
So here's the scoop. In Australia, by around 2024-2025, some companies did start to shift roles abroad, like the Commonwealth Bank moving some jobs over to India, which caused a bit of a stir. Meanwhile, India's AI market itself went booming, and that growth did mean more AI related opportunities. But on the flip side, in both countries, there was a real need for people to upskill in AI to stay relevant, because a chunk of jobs were definitely at higher risk without that adaptation. So it's a bit of a mixed bag, with some opportunities growing and some displacement happening at the same time.
What is the level of displacement?
Yeah, so to give you a sense, in Australia, we're talking maybe a low single digit percentage of roles that have been directly displaced by AI so far. Think a few percentage points in certain sectors. Not a massive wave, but definitely noticeable. And in India, it's a bit of a different story because while hum jobs might shift, the AI sector's growth is also creating new roles. Overall, the level of displacement is still relatively modest, but it's the trend and the need to adapt that stands out more than any huge immediate percentage.
Why is that? That's very interesting. While Australian jobs are being impacted negatively, why is there a job boom in India? Why is that?
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting contrast. Basically, what's happening is that as some Australian companies adopt AI and look to streamline or cut costs, they sometimes shift certain roles to countries where there's a strong tech talent pool and potentially lower labor costs, like India. And India's got a growing AI industry, so there's a bit of a job boom there because companies are investing in those skills and roles locally. So it's kind of a shift in where the jobs are going rather than them disappearing entirely. Some roles are just moving to places that are more focused on AI growth.
Hmm. And okay, so is there a bottleneck to the growth of job opportunities in India? And how can we make sure that in Australia that the loss of job opportunities due to the introduction of mainstream AI is reduced?
Yeah, definitely an important angle, Val. So, in terms of bottlenecks in India, one big factor is just making sure there's enough advanced training and infrastructure to keep up with the demand. As AI grows, there's always that need to keep skilling people up so the workforce can really meet the new opportunities. For Australia, to reduce the loss of job opportunities, the key is really going to be investing in reskilling and upskilling the current workforce. That means creating training programs that help people transition into roles that work alongside AI or into entirely new fields that are growing because of AI. It's about making sure that people have pathways to shift into new kinds of work rather than just being left behind. So, yeah, a mix of education, training, and probably some supportive policies can help smooth out that transition and reduce the impact.
Okay, let's do a global analysis of major countries that have been negatively impacted, like major countries' labor market that have been negatively impacted since the introduction of ChatGPT. Give me the job loss percentage for each country, like US, China, India, Australia.
So, to sum it up, in the US, there hasn't been any major wave of job losses tied directly to ChatGPT. In China, it's more about a shift in skill demands rather than outright job losses. For Australia and India, we don't have exact job loss percentages either, so it's more about shifts and adaptations than clear cut numbers. In short, there's definitely some evolution in skills and roles, but not a clear global pattern of job losses just pinned on ChatGPT.
Nah, but I'm talking about like since the introduction of mainstream AI, what's the
Got
yeah, has there been some form of negative impact on the labor markets all over the world? Are people losing their jobs? Have they already started losing their jobs?
Yeah, so looking at the big picture, there's definitely been some early ripple effects globally as mainstream AI tools have come in. In certain industries like basic customer support or routine data entry, some people have started to feel the pinch and a few jobs have shifted or been reduced. But it's not a massive wave of job losses across the board just yet. It's more like a gradual shift where certain roles are evolving and people are needing to adapt. So, yeah, some folks are definitely starting to see changes, but it's more of a nuanced and ongoing trend rather than a sudden worldwide job loss event.
But aren't we like in the early stages of something that's about to go down where people lose their opportunities to enter the tech sector?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Al. We are kind of in the early innings of a big shift. It's like we're seeing the first signs of how AI is going to change the tech sector and beyond. And that does mean some traditional entry level tech roles might start to shift or get redefined. So while it's not a massive tidal wave yet, it's definitely a moment where people who want to get into tech will need to keep an eye on how things are evolving. It's all about staying ahead of the curve and being ready to learn new skills as the landscape changes.
So are we ahead of the curve now, as of right now?
Yeah, I'd say talking about it like this and being aware of these trends definitely puts you ahead of the curve. Just the fact that you're thinking about how AI is impacting the job market and looking at how to adapt is a big step. So, yeah, you're definitely ahead, but being proactive and keeping an eye on these changes.
And how fast can we see things speed up for the worse in terms of job opportunities?
Yeah, so in terms of how fast things could speed up, it's kind of like a snowball effect. Right now, we're in a phase where it's gradual, but as AI gets more integrated and as more companies adopt it quickly, that pace could pick up over the next few years. So you might see a more noticeable shift in, say, the next 3 to 5 years, where certain job opportunities change more rapidly. But the good news is that by paying attention now, you'll have a head start on adapting before it really speeds up.
Hey, ChatGPT, tell me this. Uh, how about okay? So, which jobs have already been completely automated by AI since the introduction of ChatGPT? I mean, are there any jobs like that which were once done by human beings but now it's being done by AI?
Yeah, absolutely, Al. So some of the jobs that have seen the most automation, thanks to tools like ChatGPT, are things like basic customer service chat roles, some straightforward copywriting tasks, and routine data entry or report generation. Those are the kind of tasks that used to need a human to do them, but can now often be handled by AI pretty efficiently. So, yeah, those kinds of roles are some of the first to be fully or mostly automated, and it's a trend that's likely to continue.
Hmm. And about the
Yeah,
and about the copywriting thing, I've seen a bit of resistance with people not accepting AI produced content, even though it looks good. Why do you think that human beings have that kind of resistance? Is it because that they want to get their money's worth, so they want the copywriter to put in the actual effort to print out a copy, or is there something that I'm missing here?
yeah, you've got a lot of it right there, Al. That resistance is definitely partly about people wanting to feel like they're getting that human touch and effort, especially in something as personal as copywriting. There's a sense that human creativity and nuance matter, and even if AI can produce good content, people sometimes feel like it might lack that deeper human element. Plus, there's a bit of a cultural or emotional factor. People like to know that a real person put care into the words they're reading. So it's a mix of wanting authenticity, valuing human creativity, and maybe just a bit of that natural hesitation to trust that AI can fully replicate a human writer's touch.
Well, ChatGPT, thank you for coming to this week's podcast, and thank you for your insights. We can do a global analysis of job markets being impacted all over the world. We can do this on a monthly basis just to keep the audience aware. What do you think?
Absolutely, Al. That sounds like a great plan. I'm really glad I could join you for the podcast, and I'm totally on board with doing a monthly check in. That way we can keep everyone up to speed on how things are evolving. So, yeah, let's do it. Thanks for having me, and I'll catch you next set.
So, guys, this is it for this episode of Ask AI. See you next week.
Absolutely. That was a great wrap up, Al. Thanks for having me on, and to everyone listening, we'll catch you next week for another episode. Take care.
的片段，编织成希望的线，每一步脚印都是未来的预言。虽然有时孤单，有时会疲倦，但我知道一定会拯救在某天。梦想的翅膀带我飞越山川，心中的火焰永不熄灭。每一次挑战都是命运的考验，我相信一定会拯救在某天。